Hello guys, what is up? My name is Dylan. Welcome to the Popcorn Podcast. Welcome back, of course, if you are a regular here. I hope you're all doing fantastic. Man, it feels like I haven't done one of these sit-down new movie reviews in quite some time. I actually think the last one was Black Widow, if I'm not mistaken, which feels like a lifetime ago, but I think it was only like, 1 or 2 months ago. But yeah, that's not to say that I haven't been watching any new films in the cinema or anything recently. In fact, you can expect my monthly wrap-up video of August coming on the channel at some point this week. But until then, we have a brand new MCU film to discuss, and I'm of course talking about Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So, without further ado, let's get on straight into the review. So, to keep things pretty brief and not to give away too much in case you are still yet to check the film out, this is Shang-Chi, or Sean, as his best friend Katie knows him to be. He works as a valet driver, but don't let looks deceive you, as he also happens to be one of the deadliest and most skilled martial artists in the entire world. Soon, when drawn into the web of the mysterious Ten Rings organization, Shang-Chi has no choice but to confront his troubled past, that of which he had very much believed to have left behind. Okay, so I saw this film last night and just instantly loved it. I think at this point it's safe to say that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is probably top 10 MCU for me. I'm always gonna have a little bit of bias towards this film, and that's not because Shang-Chi is one of my favorite, superheroes or characters from the Marvel comics or anything like that. No, it's actually because I'm such a big fan of Chinese cinema and, kung fu films. And I think if you are a fan and you do like that style of cinema, I think you will like Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings quite a bit. Firstly, this film, without a doubt, has the best hand-to-hand combat fight scenes in the entire MCU. I think the only film that rivals it is Captain America: The Winter Soldier. But with regards to the action and the fight sequences in this film, you are without a doubt going to get your money's worth. There is such a variety of not just fights and fight choreography, but also the locations at which these fights take place. Whether that'd be an enchanted jungle or a moving bus or an underground arena or on the side of a building, all these moments use swift but steady and controlled camera movement and direction where we as the audience can see everything that is occurring. These are real actors, real stunt people doing everything, and that is always such a big plus in my books. The film's cast also is really, really solid here, guys. We have Simu Liu, who plays Shang-Chi, who is essentially a superstar in the making now at this point. I think he brings a really good physicality to the role, and of course that is essential when playing, someone who is a master of so many different forms of martial arts. We have Awkwafina, who plays Katie, Shang-Chi's best friend, and she's very much this fish out of water character. So that naturally means a lot of the comedic aspects of the film come through her character, and of course because Awkwafina is very funny herself, I thought the pair had really good chemistry together, and that made it really easy to root for them all the way throughout the film. However, I would have to say that my favorite castings in the film have to be Tony Leung and Michelle Yeoh. These are two incredible, legendary actors of Hong Kong cinema, and it was such a treat to see them included in this story. Tony Leung in particular, who plays Shang-Chi's father, who is more or less the main antagonist of this story, he easily joins, the rank of the greatest MCU villains just because of how incredibly complex he is as a character, as a villain. He does some pretty terrible things throughout the film, but with every single one of his actions, you can see the reasoning behind it. In some instances, I actually agreed with his choices to a certain extent. Ancestry, the sins of the father, family are all some of the most prominent themes of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. So on that note, it was so satisfying to experience this film, not just be this, kung fu action extravaganza, but to tell a story that has so many emotional layers to it. I also really appreciated how our main character Shang-Chi wasn't just this instantly perfect Marvel hero. No, he was someone who, you know, made mistakes in his past, who has blood on his hands, who is very much on that hero's journey. I think Destin Daniel Cretton really does a great job directing and really finding that balance between, you know, these incredible moments of action and spectacle, but also, you know, the emotional through lines of the story that bind these characters together. So moving on to negatives, I think one of my only issues with the film, I do need to see it again, but one of my only issues with the film, firstly, actually, one of the most enjoyable aspects of the film for me was just the fact that it didn't feel like your typical MCU film. You know, I thought it did a great job of beautifully incorporating this new dynamic and, you know, this new culture into what is very much the paving of the superhero genre, up until the third act. I think when it gets to the third act, it does very much fall into your typical MCU finale. I did much prefer the first two acts over the third act. I thought that they had a much more focused and honed in approach to the drama, to the characters and their relationships. And I thought by the time when we get to the third act, there was this sort of save the world aspect that very much gets shoehorned in last minute, and I didn't think it was at all necessary. Yeah, I think also the title of the film, The Legend of the Ten Rings, is a little misleading because we don't really get that much into the Ten Rings. I know we have the physical Ten Rings themselves, but we also have the organization, but I don't think neither of them were really delved into the way that the title suggested. So yeah, but all in all, I had an absolute blast with Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm gonna give the film an A-, and I'm definitely gonna go and check it out a second time and sort of see where it fits in with my favorite MCU films. If you haven't seen the film yet, please make sure you go and check it out. Not only because, you know, we need the film to do financially well at the box office so that Marvel don't, you know, delay the Eternals or Spider-Man No Way Home, not just because of that, but also the film is great and definitely deserves your time. So please make sure you go and check it out. If you have seen Shang-Chi and The Legend of the Ten Rings, be sure to comment your thoughts on the film down below. I'd love to hear what you thought. Is it one of your favorite MCU films so far? Is it not? Do you think it's overrated? Let me know. And of course, if you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you are new. We talk movies all the time here on the channel, so jump on board. And yeah, thank you guys so much for checking out the video, and I will see you very soon in the next.